Welcome to For Mannerless Women. I'm your host, Adele Onyango, and this is a space committed to nurturing a new generation of shame-free women who are ready to meet their best selves. In this episode, we're going to explore yoga and how it can help you heal your mind, body, and spirit. Helping us do this is Catherine, who's the first Kenyan to lead a yoga teacher training in Africa. Thank you so much for making time to come and be with us on For Mannerless Women.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. And thank you for the invite.
And it's so good to catch up since the last time we met, which was, you did our first Legally Clueless event ever, which was like a yoga event for women. And we had so much fun. Yeah. So you always have time for us, which is great.
Yes, I do. Anything to do with yoga.
Yeah.
And you?
Yeah.
I'm in.
So this is something I want more people to know, because your story is so incredibly powerful as to how you and yoga found each other. When was that and how did that happen?
By accident. I'll say most people find yoga found me. Yeah. So my story, my background is I was born in Kariobangi North and raised by a single mom. And after high school, as many youths around the slums are, I was lucky to even go to high school then. So when I finished high school, there was nothing for me to do. There's no way I was going to go through college or anything like that. First of all, I had a single mom who was an alcoholic, and I had 4 other siblings. So there was no way I was going to go to college. I was like, what do I do with my life now? I'm out. I don't want to end up married yet, because I'm 18.
Yeah.
I don't want to end up like everybody around me. What can I do? Then my male friends were doing acrobatics. They were like, what are you doing? Let's go. Let's go exercise. You can just exercise with us. And that's how I found myself practicing to be a professional acrobat.
Oh, wow.
Past 18 years, I've never been physical, nothing. And then in 2 months, I'm performing as an acrobat. My life from then was marathon. Movement. And that was in end of 2005, beginning of 2006. And then when I started doing acrobatics, my mom went completely into drinking mode. I was left with my sisters to take care of. And so I started supporting my siblings. I started supporting my mom in Kariobangi, and I'm supporting myself, working. Then in 2009, when I was still an acrobat, I met this lady called Paige Ellenson. I think that was in 2007. I met Paige, and she introduced me to yoga. And she's from New York, an American in Kenya teaching yoga. And also that was by accident. You remember we had post-violence election?
Yes, post-election violence,
Yeah, so I was performing with Sarakasi Trust. We had this show called Amani Circus, and we could go into the camps and just entertain people who were displaced by the war in the camps. And Paige joined the circus, and I was like, what's she gonna perform? What's she going to perform? Is she an entertainer? What is she doing? And she was like, no, I'm a yoga teacher. So as an acrobat, I'm entertaining. So all these people in these camps are sitting down watching me perform. But then when we started doing yoga, everybody was involved. We were all standing. I don't know whether you saw the camps, but they were tents all around, and there was a big empty space at the center. So everybody, including us, including people in the camp, including kids, we're all standing in one big circle doing yoga poses. And I was like, what is this thing? When we came into the camp, because of the war, there was so much tension. Because these people don't know who is coming into the camp. They don't know.
How can they trust you?
They can't trust us. And then by the time we're finishing performing, and now we're doing yoga, we're touching hands. They don't care anymore. We're touching hands on mountain poles. And I was like, whatever this thing is, I want to know more. But I didn't even ask. I was like, whatever. But I like it. And I remember also going like, I think this is something I can do for my community, because I know since I was a kid, I was like, I'm never going to, abandon my community in Kariobangi. I'm going to do something for them. But I didn't know what. It's something at the back of it. But when I was sitting there watching Page Teach, I was like, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
So when she came back in 2009, and she came back to Sarakasi, and she's like, I have this teacher training, a yoga teacher training. I want you to apply with your yoga group, with the acrobatic group, and I have a bunch of other people who are coming. Do you want to do? I was like, yes, I'm signing up. So I signed up for my first yoga teacher training, and we did the training in Diani.
What does a yoga teacher training look like? It's because I think many people, when they look at yoga, they're like, it doesn't seem strenuous. It doesn't seem hard, but it is. So what does the training look like?
So imagine for you to be able to teach yoga, you need 200 hours minimum of the training. So the training actually is 200 hours.
Okay.
So every day you're doing a yoga session. So when people hear yoga, they only think about the postures.
Yes.
They call them asana.
Yeah.
But we have meditation. We have mindfulness. We have and mindfulness and meditation are two different things.
Yeah.
But most people do mindfulness.
Yeah.
I think it's meditation. And then we have like breath work, we call it pranayama. There's so much things we do. And then we have something we call inquiry. That's when you're doing personal work. You're asking yourself difficult questions, like what's holding you back? Why are you the way you are?
Wow.
And for me, that was the most powerful work, because I was like a very defensive person. If you grew up in the slums, you're always on the defense mode, because you don't know when your door will be knocked down. You don't know when the next shootout is coming out. You don't know when your neighbor is going to steal, whatever small you have. So you're always ready to fight.
Yeah.
And from all that comes a lot of frustration, a lot of violence. Like I was a very violent person. I was always angry. I was always mad. But I didn't know where it was coming from. So by doing the inquiry work, they're asking the difficult questions. They're like, why do you react the way you react?
Yeah.
It was so helpful for me. Like I came out of that teacher training completely transformed. Not just physically, but with even my face.
And like, when you ask yourself, since you are in that moment, when you ask yourself, like, why am I like this? What are some of the emotions that came up for you? I'm just assuming that must have been an intense emotional session, right?
Yeah. So so much sadness, first of all. Like when you come to, especially if you're doing fast yoga classes, which my second yoga class was in a yoga teacher training. A lot of emotions comes up, a lot of sadness, there was tears, there was so many tears, and also some relief, just knowing that, oh my God, I don't have to keep reacting, I don't have to fight with everybody, nobody is here to fight me. Some people just really, when they ask you, how are you doing, they just
mean
want
it.
they just want to know, how are you doing? I was like, I was having a sense of acceptance.
Yeah.
Because with all that anger, comes with denial, and also comes with blame. I had so much. I didn't realize how much I was blaming the government for why are we poor? Why don't we have enough food? Why don't we have running water? Why is my mom like this? Why is she drinking? Does she have kids? Why all this blame? But once I accepted who I was and where I came from, then there's so much room for growth.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I have started practicing yoga every morning this year.
Yeah.
But I was still very ignorant in terms of how yoga is like mind, body, spirit. It's not just body and poses and the stretching and the physicalness of it all.
Yeah.
So it's so nice to get that from your story, that there's a way it can heal you, even mind, spirit, and not just body.
Yeah.
So you leave Diani. Do you immediately start teaching?
Yes. Okay. When I was in Diani, I knew exactly who was going to be my first client.
Okay.
My mom. She is not going to argue with me. I'm paying her rent.
Yeah.
And, I'm hustling, trying to like perform, do all these other manual work. Another thing I forgot to tell you, I was also doing garbage collection in Kariobangi, because what happens is the city council doesn't go per apartment or per plot to take the garbage. You have to bring the garbage to the road. So my work with the other youths in Kariobangi was to go into the apartment and collect the garbage and bring it to the road for people. So I was also making some money collecting garbage. But so I was literally supporting my mom financially with her kids, my siblings. So when I went back home, I was like so excited. I was so happy. People are like, what happened to you? So it's like, yoga, we finished on a Sunday. I went to the community hall. We have community halls everywhere, which are free. Booked as my spot. You have to book your spot because we have all other groups happening. And I remember it was on a Tuesday. So Sunday was my last day of the training. On Tuesday, I was like, Mom, tukutane kwa hall. Saa 4 sawa. Leta mabishte wako wote, all the women.
Was she open to it or was she skeptical?
Yeah, she was. She was. I think since I had already shocked her with acrobatics, she was not as shocked with yoga by now. Like she was like, okay, whatever you say. But she came with her friends. All the people we did yoga with from Kariobangi came to the class. It was a full class at the beginning. I taught my first yoga class to my mom and her friends.
How was that class like? How did they feel even afterwards?
I think they liked it because they kept coming for the next 3 years. Like I was teaching yoga in Kariobangi for 3 years, non-stop, every Tuesday. And during all that time, my mom was still drinking, But the difference now was like on Tuesday, there was no drinking.
Oh, because she had to come for the class.
And after you go to yoga class, it doesn't matter what time, you feel so good. There's no way you're going to get into like a wine and spirit or a club or wherever. You want to go home, eat clean, take a nap, do something. And now she had friends who are not alcoholic, because now the yoga class is grown. We have other women coming. I started having women with like a cancer because the doctor said go do something. So now I had to research yoga for cancer. Like you have all these people coming to you to class with all this other stuff that's you didn't do in your teacher training. So I had to do additional training. So I did 2 more training, but I did them in Mexico because no one was teaching teacher trainings in Kenya. Actually in Africa, nothing. There was nothing in 2009, in 2010. And then in 2012, after I did kind of like the degree or the masters of yoga, we did a teacher training in Kenya into 2013 was my first teacher training that I led.
And is that what gave you the title of?
The first Kenyan woman to lead a yoga teacher training in Africa.
Which is incredible. And imagine that you stumbled on yoga. Like you were like doing your acrobatics with the guys and you were happy and then this yoga thing found you, right? And so how did yoga impact your mom even during the 3 years of the Tuesday classes?
So we started actually between those 3 years I was teaching in Kariobangi. We did to another class, so Thursday and Tuesday and Thursday. And then she was still drinking, but now it's more limited because you don't just stop drinking. And then she got pregnant. I wasn't happy because I was like, yo.
This is another mouth for me.
Like I wasn't happy. I didn't talk to her for like months. But then when she got pregnant, she had no option but to stop drinking. And then she started doing prenatal yoga. The best thing about that, I went back to school, yoga school, and learned how to teach prenatal yoga. Because now we do power yoga. It's all like power, but now there's a pregnant, all these pregnant ladies. And then a prenatal yoga class was born in Kariobangi.
Wow.
Like it's like my mom is my yoga experiment.
It's like, what does she need? Okay, let's research.
Yeah, so when she wasn't drinking, we're still in Kariobangi.
Yeah.
I now have my own room
Yeah.
with my girlfriends.
Yeah.
We are co-sharing the space. She have her space with my siblings.
Yeah.
And once she had the baby, and my sister was 3 months, I was like, so now my second born sister, like the sister who's following, I'm the first born. Our second sister now was already in yoga. So I enrolled her into yoga.
Wow.
I enrolled my cousin who was also staying with me.
Yeah.
And so by then, those are 2 incomes in the house. We're like, no, if we have our mom here, relapsing is easy because now I'm no longer teaching Kariobangi. So remember I did my teacher training. I trained someone there. So somebody took over the classes.
Yeah.
And I'm no longer like spending so much time in Kariobangi.
Yeah.
Enrolling into my more like leading teacher trainings, leading workshops, mentoring young yoga teachers. I was like, she can relapse anytime.
Yeah.
You know, she's still around all this alcohol. She's still around her old friends. So we moved her to Muranga.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And how is mom now?
She's a church lady.
Wow.
You know, she's an elder in church.
Yeah.
She mentors youth.
Oh, wow.
She have her cows and her little shamba.
And is she still practicing yoga?
No. She's not, but it's not because she can't, but there's no yoga teachers in Muranga.
Okay.
I haven't put any effort in having yoga teachers in Muranga, which should be my next project.
I was going to say, that's your next one,
Yeah.
because everything surrounding your mom, you're like, okay, let me research on how to sort that out. But that's really powerful. And I guess it speaks to like how healing yoga can be.
Yes.
Right? It's not only you're going in to kind of have a physical activity, but it's so much more.
Yeah.
Right?
Because when we were doing the inquiry work, I was talking about like the transformational work in the teacher training. One of the work was, who do you resent? And goes who? My person was like my mom. I wasn't like not resent. I was like, I hate her. Like I hate my mom. I resent my mom. And when we did the work on resentment, the last our exercise was asking for forgiveness, for holding the resentment, not asking for forgiveness, for not asking them like, can you forgive me for hating you? It's not for holding the resentment against them. And I think once I did that, my relationship with my mom was better. That's why I was able to even teach my classes with my mom in the class. Because there was, I felt like she forgave me for resenting her. And I was able to let go that resentment. I was able to have a whole new relationship with my mom. Because I don't know what was happening to her. I don't know why she was drinking, you know. I don't know what she had to go through to be who she is. Because she was a good mom. Like, my mom was a good mom. Like, look at me. But apart from the drinking, like I started acknowledging, like she put us to school, all 5 kids. My sister, I'm putting my sister to school, so not her. But all the other 4, she did put them through school. She was a good mom. I started acknowledging all the good things that she did, and that's how I was able to, to have a whole new relationship with her. And with that, now I can have relationship with anyone, like
you see the human in them.
Yeah, there's no need to resent people.
And that is like so powerful, because when I used to think of your story, I would only see yoga helping your mom navigate herself out of alcoholism. But I think what it did is like your mother-daughter relationship was healed, which is incredible. Sometimes it's almost easier and more comfortable to resent and to hate someone, because it means I don't have to face the harder or heavier feelings of you hurt me, or you know what I mean? Like, it's easier for me to just say, I hate you, or I'm angry at you. And so going that extra mile in healing is what's really transformative. And that is so incredible. When we talk about trauma, or like even feelings like resentment, right? Did you feel like you were holding trauma physically in your body, and did yoga help you kind of release?
I can tell you 100% yoga movements, were the reason I was able to even recognize what I was holding. You know, that just being able to move my body. We say a lot, and when we were talking with you, there's so much tension or so much emotions we hold in our hips. And yeah, because my most of my crying that I did in that teacher training, and anytime I cry in yoga, I'm in a hip opener pose. Like I'm either in half pigeon or like any hip opener poses. So yeah, there was so much, like when you move your body, there's so much tension you're releasing. Actually, you cannot do the inquiry work we do in teacher training without first doing the actual physical practice.
Wow.
Yeah, because then you're holding so much tension in our bodies, in our jaw, in our shoulders, and as women, in our hips. Yeah. So when you let go of that physically, you're able to open up mentally.
What was the feeling like? I've gotten, it wasn't yoga, but it was, it's a type of a massage. I can't remember the name. And the lady was doing it, and it's almost like she's listening to your body because she's like following things.
Yeah.
And when she got to my lower back, for some reason, I just kind of felt tears. And I was just like, whoa, what's going on? I came here for a massage. What's happening? Right? And like, I think afterwards she told me she could feel I'm tired emotionally, right?
Yeah.
And she's a stranger to me. And for sure, in that season, I was carrying so many emotions and just trying to like weed through them. What was the sensation for you?
Because, you know, yeah, it's in the body. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Even trauma, like you said, trauma. When I do, I also teach yoga for mental health. When we do yoga for mental health, like it's what trauma are you holding in your body? It's felt like, you know, you have knots tied up and somebody else, you've been like in a tight space where you can't move, and all of a sudden there's a door open, you know, and you have the freedom to move around, or all those knots are untied and they're like straight line, you can jiggle, you can move. That's how it feels in the body. And I won't lie, first few classes are hell. Because you know you're forcing your body to release. You're forcing your body to let go. You're forcing your mind to really be open to you. You're the problem. You know, you're the one holding on, not other people. So they're not as good. Most people do 1, 2, 3 classes and never come back. I'll say do 10 classes, then tell me how you're feeling. You're feeling about yoga, because by the 5th class, you know, you already know exactly what's happening. Your body is giving you information that you really need.
I can imagine someone signs up and because it's the way a lot of us on the other side receive yoga is, it's like, it's what you do for exercise, right? So you can imagine coming with that and then like, you're crying and you're just like, whoa. What is happening here? But that's so important, because I think they say like the body keeps score. So it'll remain there until you help your body like process it out. So for a woman watching this who wants to tap into yoga to help her reconcile mind, body, spirit, where is a good place to start?
I'll say find a yoga teacher, especially if you're starting. Find a yoga teacher. I know maybe 70% of yoga teachers in Kenya. So I can direct you.
And she's a yoga teacher herself.
And I'm a yoga teacher myself. But find a yoga teacher, find a yoga studio next to you. Some people do YouTube, but I say if you're a beginner, really find a physical yoga class to do this. There's a lot of yoga studios around now. If you look up, let me know if you need a yoga teacher. I'll be happy to either come if I'm available or freely connect you with a teacher.
And like in closing, what is one thing in your life that you feel yoga gifted you?
Compassion. I don't even know how to explain. It's just compassion towards other people. Like just seeing people who they are versus what they have done or how I think they are. Like compassion. And also the ability to just give back. You know, be like a role model. Oh, I forgot to tell you, because that's what I was missing when I was growing up. There was no positive role models. They were, but they were like, who have the biggest gun? Who can rob the biggest? No, who can drink the most alcohol? You know, not having the positive role models when I was growing up, and that's what I'm giving to other girls, is just showing like you don't have to be this way.
There's an alternative.
There's an alternative, because I was one of the kids when I was growing up. Other parent was like, I don't want to see you with Catherine, and then I'm now the girl who are like, take my daughter. Can you talk to them? Come talk to my daughter. It's like, it's just that. That's what yoga have given me access to, is being a leader and also like a role model to other girls. Yeah.
And you are helping other girls through your NGO.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I have a small, it's very young non-profit, maybe 2 years now, almost 2 years now, called Yoga Link Kenya. I'm teaching 2 classes a week for young girls. So I work a lot with teenagers, and with teenagers, there's a huge problem with teenage pregnancies. So I'm working with teenagers, and when I say teenagers, they're both boys and girls.
Okay.
Because they getting each other pregnant. In Kariobangi, it's not usually like older men taking advantage. They're like teenagers on teenager pregnancy.
Yeah.
So we work a lot on like really preventing teenage pregnancies, and we use yoga to do that. And then young mothers, I work with young mothers too, especially on issues affecting young mothers.
Yeah. And isn't it crazy? Like it's full circle?
Yeah.
Because you came from your first teacher training, and was like, my mom is my first. Yeah. And now you're helping mothers. And I think sometimes when we talk of issues, even around like teenage pregnancies, you'd never hear yoga brought up. But it's a tool.
It's a tool, yeah. Because you know what, also with yoga is when you go to a yoga class and you feel so good, you love your body. You start loving yourself. You start loving your body. It doesn't matter what happened or what happened with your body, because a lot of our trauma comes from, physical, either physical beating or sexual harassment, sexual assault. But you start loving your body, so there's no way you're going to put anything harmful in your body. That means with teenagers, they're not going to have, irresponsible sex, because they're really loving their body, and they have these other women who they can look up to and go like, I can finish school. I grew up from Kariobangi, but I can go to university. I can do something with my life. There's all these other comparisons they can use to do that. And on top of that, with my non-profit, every 6 months, I give pads. So in December, in June, so coming up, in June, we give pads to my yoga students. That lasts them for like 6 months. That's why we do it every 6 months.
This is incredible. Oh my God, thank you first, congratulations for all the work that you're doing and what you've been able to do in terms of impact with your work in yoga. Who would have thought?
Exactly. If 15 years ago you told me, I'd go like, are you okay?
You'd have been like, yoga? What's that? And now see what you've been able to do with yoga. And so thank you so much for the work that you do and for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
And if you check out the description, you will find contacts and links to be able to reach out to Catherine in case you want to book a yoga class, which I think you should, or if you want to support her nonprofit, you should definitely go for it. Thank you for watching this episode, and make sure you like, share it with all the mannerless and almost mannerless women in your lives. Subscribe to our channel and make sure you're here next week for a brand new episode.